We need to count down from Shauna. They can hear us. The show is about you. Quantum physics, here we come.
Oh.
Is that your life? Are we talking? Are we talking to the world right now?
We are.
We're talking
Okay,
to the world. You're talking.
Sha, here's your cheat sheet, Sha.
Yeah. So, hello world.
Hello, world.
But in true fashion,
This is
we're
Adrian
experiencing
speaking for
technical
Shauna.
difficulties. So
Okay, they
Shauna
should.
can't be heard apparently.
No, they should be able to hear me now.
Oh, can they hear you now?
They should be able to.
Like a Verizon
Yay.
commercial? Can you
Yeah.
hear me now?
Can you hear me now? Can you hear me now? How about now?
So we're here.
We're
So we're
here.
here.
We're
We're live.
here.
We're
Welcome,
actually
everybody.
it's the actual show now.
The actual show now. Yeah. See,
Yay.
it wouldn't be a show with me doing
No.
anything for it if it wasn't for technical difficulties. Watch my gaming.
That's okay. It's all right. It's all right. We get it. Like I said, we have one more week to work out all the bugs, and in 2 weeks we'll be absolutely perfect without any flaws.
Oh, God.
Sure.
I don't know about that, but we could try. What's up, everybody in the Twitch land? How you doing, Fluffy, Holly, or Fluffy, Holly, and Lee? Thank you guys for being supporting us. All right, woohoo!
Woohoo!
Oh, it's
Okay.
about me today.
It is about you. I gotta, you know, it's one of those things. Now, you're not from Oklahoma, right?
No, I'm not. I am originally from LA,
Where?
Lower Alabama.
Lower Alabama?
Yep.
I was like, really? I didn't know that.
You know, those are dyslexic. You got LA and AL.
Well, yeah, that's right.
Well, how long have you lived in Oklahoma?
14 on 15.
14 years. About half
Yeah.
your life.
No. I'm older than that.
About half your life, we'll say. Right? No, so you moved into Oklahoma, but how were you always into the paranormal before you moved to Oklahoma, or did Oklahoma turn you that way?
Well, funny story on that is I've always been interested in the paranormal, but I've always been, because my mom would tell me ghost stories that happened to her when she was young, and it would always intrigue me. And then I had a incident when I was about 5 years old. My papa had passed away, and I remember crying at the swing set, asking him to push me, and I had failed to push. Well, at the time, you're 5 years old, you don't remember that crap. Well, the older I got, the more I started seeing things that didn't quite seem right, such as friends playing on Ouija boards and things happening that shouldn't be happening. I had an incident when I was in the military in Louisiana where a friend of mine wanted to be on the Ouija board, and her daughter was sitting in the bathroom doorway crying, saying they don't want her near. And I'm like, well, yeah, we do want you near, because I thought she was talking about the people that were there. And she said, no, 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 not you, them. And she was pointing off into nothing. And I'm like, okay, we need to close this down.
Yeah, time to go. And hey, is there a church on right now? Yeah. No, I get it.
Right? But I've always been interested in it. I've always been a horror buff and a paranormal buff, but I really didn't get into it until I moved here.
Really?
Yeah.
Is it just, what pulled you into that? Was it
Um,
you tired of watching Survivor and said, well, let's get up and do something interesting?
No, I was at work one night, and one of my employees was we were talking about the paranormal, and I was telling them about how I was interested in ghost hunter, of course, ghost adventures, and how it just intrigued me, and how I'd love to prove that this stuff was real. And she goes, "Well, do it."
Well, do it.
She goes,
Get off the couch. Yeah.
Exactly. She goes, "Let's do it." And I said, "All right, well, let's start a team." And she's still on the team today, Kelly Preston. She is one of my team. And I've been doing this since 2012. We've been investigating mostly private residences because we wanted it to help. We've done a couple of businesses. and it's been something that's really gnawed at my brain to get this going and make it into something more than just, oh, I'm a paranormal investigator, come
Oh
watch
yeah,
me.
yeah.
I
I get
wanted
that.
to help people. And I
Well,
wanted to show them that they're not crazy. This isn't something that's not real, even
oh,
though skeptics are going to
to be
say.
real, some of them are crazy,
That's true.
but
Definitely
some
That's
of
run
true.
into that.
some of us are too. Yeah. So
Yeah.
Absolutely.
no, the reason why I
Have to
asked
be
you
a little bit
if
crazy.
Oklahoma made you into it is because that's where I had my first experience, was down a little south of you.
That's
So
true. You
I
did.
didn't know if that was if you went out there, and there's so much energy I know in this area that in our 4 states that I didn't know if that's what happened. Something brought you into that, but it was a conversation.
Yeah, there was a conversation, and well, not only that, the house that I'm in is got a little boy. I believe it's a little boy that's here, and
Not
yeah,
one of yours.
no, no, not one of mine. But he likes to play tricks every now and then, and
Oh, really?
oh yeah.
Like what?
Well, for one, my daughter had left to go with her nana somewhere, and me and my husband were back here in the back of the room, and front part of the house, of course, is way up there. Well, I heard a mama, her voice calling for me. He heard her too, and I went up front, and there was nobody there. They had already long gone, but it sounded like my daughter.
That's kind of unsettling.
Well, it is unsettling. But I think he does it to get my attention,
Yeah.
and he's just trying. I've heard whistling. I've heard somebody say something. Of course, I'm hard of hearing, so I didn't catch it. And when I turned around and asked my husband if it was him, and he was like, "No." Was it the boys? No. Okay. I just go from there.
You're hard of hearing, so you're like your favorite words like mine. What? Or,
What?
huh?
What? Yeah. Huh?
Huh? That's all right. No,
Yep.
that's so you said you've been doing it since 2012.
Yes, I've been
Has it always been geeks?
it's always been geeks.
Now, what does geek stand for?
General Ectoplasm Exposition and Knowledge Society.
Ectoplasm.
Nice.
Yeah, I had to throw a little
Have
bit of that in
Have you
there.
ever run into any ectoplasm?
No, unfortunately not. Slimer hasn't been around.
Yeah, I think I got some around here somewhere. I
Unless my daughter throws it at me. But no, I have it at a play off words, whether it was nerds or geeks, and I felt I was more of a geek than a nerd.
See,
So-
I didn't want to go with a name,
Acronym?
right? And so I went with ERPRE.
Or free.
And here we are. Yeah,
Oh no, what happened to
we
Ken?
lost Ken. Ken
did.
Ken went by.
Ken's MIA.
He'll come back.
But yeah, we did. So yeah, years later, I'm like, man, there's so many things I could have done, but I was so afraid to be to sound strange. You know,
Oh, I like
I don't want to
sounding
be.
strange.
I don't want to. Well, I
I'm
guess
not
I don't.
normal.
I don't want to be gimmicky. You know, so but I should have, because back in 2006, there wasn't a whole bunch.
No.
And geeks, I like geeks because it's different. And so many people now are trying to go with some form of,
Oh, I
like-
noticed.
like there's maps, right?
Yep.
They try to make it sound like other teams or whatever, or they try to do spooky things. And I don't know, as a potential client, if I'm scared, I'm not going to go to somebody who's got a scary website. But you know what I mean?
Right?
Yeah.
But hey, back when I started, it was all about MySpace, right?
Oh,
So
yeah.
all the websites or the MySpace accounts had spooky music too. It's great.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I like the spooky stuff, but
Did you have spooky music on your MySpace?
I did.
I think everybody did, didn't we?
I did.
I did not.
Well, you
You
heard our
didn't?
intro.
Not guilty.
But I like to spreading the light on the paranormal. I like to show that you can have a good time and be professional at the same time.
Oh
You can
yeah,
have
definitely.
you can have fun, cut up, and everything else, but there's be professional at the same time. It's
Well,
not all about we're
just like
at
a
this
work.
location and this location is
Oh yeah.
very haunted. No. You can't cut up. It's fun. I mean, if this is something that you're passionate about and you like to help people, it's gonna be fun for you.
Well, yeah, and like I was saying, just like work, what I do is can be stressful for people, right? And it's is a professional environment, but I joke around because that a little levity goes a long way, right?
Yep.
So,
It
but
does.
I use my diagnostic background in my paranormal thing. So, what do you do? What's your day job? What do you make your money from?
Oh, I make my money from being a project manager.
How does that help you in how does that help you in the paranormal world? Or does it at all?
Well, you know what? Leadership responsibilities and everything I actually learned from the military.
Yeah.
So I can't say that that has put me in the position of leader, but I can say it's helped me organize a little bit more.
Yeah.
And
It didn't teach me organizational skills. That's all Tina.
well, if you look at my desk, you wouldn't think I was organized at all, or my house. But at work, I'm a little bit more organized. On my computer, yeah, I have a lot of stuff on the background, but I think I'm a little bit more organized in my folders than anything. But it's my mess and my organization. I know where everything's at.
As
Yeah.
long as you know where it's at, that's truly all that matters.
Exactly.
Yeah. And don't move
Um,
that file. I know that's my organization over there. No, I
I've done
get
a
it.
lot of things though. I've been a janitor at an airport. I've been a cashier at a grocery store. I have been a pizza delivery driver. I've been an IT tech. That was actually at the same job before I got promoted to project manager. And before that, I was a supervisor at a call center for a home warranty company. So
A
Oh,
little bit of
wow.
everything.
yeah,
Yeah.
I've done a little bit of everything.
Well,
And I do freelancing, so I'm also a web designer, a video editor, audio editor. I produce this show.
that is a huge thing to paranormal groups. If you have that
Mhm.
kind of any kind of skills to do, because a lot of us have no skills when it comes down to that stuff. And like I've been trying for years to find somebody who can actually do video and audio for us. I can clean up like EVPs and stuff like that. Okay, a little bit, but I can't really bring things out very well. And video, forget it. But I'll be
Well, you found somebody. I
I got to
mean,
reach over
like,
there. I,
Yay.
I'll be back to Oklahoma.
ooh,
Be I'll be doing some filming soon in Oklahoma, and that's kind of why I got this and the camera that I'm
gosh.
using to do this. And I'll be a little south of you, but
Ooh,
but
you'll have to tell me when.
yeah, so we'll figure it out. And but but no, we know all about Shauna.
Oh, yeah. Fun fact, one
Yay.
of my viewers, Holly Reese, she was one of the first in Geek. She actually
Yeah,
helped me co-found the name. So she was a part of it. She's been a really long friend of mine. God, how long? A long ass time.
long ass time.
Yeah, long time. 18 years, 19. Yeah, so it's God, I can't believe it's that long. I'm getting old. Oh
No,
my God.
what
Uh,
27, 28.
and
We have
holding.
so take me back to your very first investigation.
My very first investigation.
Yeah, I mean this is this is your first geeks outing.
It was a nightmare. We had video camera and digi. I did buy a DVD, not DVD, a DVR system. So I had that. That was a nightmare. Still a nightmare.
Yep.
Yes, it is live, John.
Are we
Over
live?
at Twitch.
It sounds like one of the hosts.
Yeah.
Are we live? What?
Might want to refresh But we did it I was pregnant with my daughter, as a matter of fact. Being pregnant with her was one of the reasons I said I'm never doing this again while I'm pregnant. Um, but it was a couple that a previous member knew that she worked with, and we went down there close by and actually investigated their home.
So your first investigation was someone's house.
Yes, it was someone's house. We went down there to investigate it because they said that they had some experience going on there. So we went down there to help them out. Um, it was 2013, so we had the team together for about a year before we actually started investigating, because I wanted to get trained. I wanted to kind of train people in the digis and videos and all that, and get them to where they understand, hey, this is something that we're going to be going over video and everything.
Explain to the paranormal community out there and those that are watching, what's this word training?
Training. Training is going to be people that aren't aware of video cameras or digi, or how to approach a situation, such as it may be a violent ghost, but don't go out and antagonize it.
Yeah.
You go out treating it like like they're people, because they're people. They were people in life. So you go out there and you would everything like a person. Now, in the beginning, granted, it took me years before I realized this is what we actually need to do.
Oh yeah,
Because when you
there's
first start out,
definitely
you
a
don't
learning
think about
curve.
it. Oh yeah, it's a big learning curve. I did have a couple of YouTube geek searches from back then that's on YouTube. They're old, very old. But they're on there. But yeah, it was just mostly learning about the spirits and learning about other people, what they did to find evidence.
Yeah.
Back then, yeah, we knew to take more than one picture of an area.
Well,
We
yeah.
knew.
Well, I asked that because our first investigation was at the historical site here in Fort Smith, and it was like, I think I mentioned this on the All About Adrian show, that it was a absolute mess. So I knew, oh man, it was so bad, and so I knew at that point I said, okay, well, we need to learn. I mean, I kind of had my ideas, but uh, none of my equipment worked outside very well. I didn't have any IR throw. There was so much background noise, and it was total belly up. So I actually got with the team in Oklahoma, and actually had them train us. We had all the theory down pat. Like you said, it took a year about to train. I didn't
Yeah.
do that.
Oh,
So I had to run in, but I wanted training.
yeah.
So somebody hands me a piece of equipment. I've never used it. I'm not going to just go, hey, yeah, I want to use this in this investigation. This is another word that's hard for a lot of a lot of the paranormal community to do. There's a thing called, what's it called? It's a weird, like a Latin word, manual.
Read the manual.
Read the manual. So I got to do that, and I got to play with that. I play with things around the house, like the K2 meter. When I first got a K2 meter, I wanted to. First thing I wanted to do is find out false positives.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And
Yeah.
so I put it through its paces here.
Wow.
I was like, oh, this thing is crap. And do we use it? Yeah, because great for finding things quickly, but not a
Mhm.
very good diagnostic tool. But do I use it? Yeah, because it got flashy lights.
Oh
Right.
no. Okay, so I read that Ken was having more problems. He got the death screen.
He got
Oh,
the death
So
screen.
he got the death screen. So
Yeah.
Well, I got the little goatee. I can be Ken as well. I'll move to this side of the screen for me, and then this side of the screen for him.
we're gonna have to get him a little tripod for his phone.
Yeah. That's exactly what I was just thinking. He needed
Yep.
to try his phone. Darn it.
But that was our extent of training. Luckily for me, I already had people in the group that already knew how to work cameras, and so. But it was the asking the questions and not asking questions back to back to back to back. It was making sure you ask the question and give spirit a little time, or the entity get a little time to respond.
I have a good friend who used to do that, and I was like, "Hey," I'm sure the ghost is sitting there going,
I'm trying. I'm trying.
and he's like, never even thought about it like that.
Right. Well, it's like whenever we have our famous friend that talks about how they hate orbs. But the way I look at it is orbs are like the apparitions. They just didn't have enough energy to come full throttle. They had a little toot, not a full fart. So it
But our
was
friend,
I
our
never heard
friend
it
will also
explained like
tell
that
you
before. That's fun.
a visible orb is something different than like one of these things that we see in photographs. And
Yeah.
but yeah,
Yeah.
I get it. We have fun with we have fun with him as well.
Oh
So.
yeah,
Oh,
definitely.
speaking of our friend,
Oh, I wore mine the other day while I was gaming. Yay, Keith H shirt.
right. and we could take Heath Age. I mean, he is in a K, but it's a wrong
Yeah.
K.
It's the
But
wrong
it's still
K.
okay. It's
Yep.
a wrong K.
He's not the cool K. The
But
special K. There we go. The
the
special
special
K.
K. Yeah, there you go. There you go. No, it's fun time. I love doing this. I mean, even the podcasting, I didn't go really because a lot of the things I wanted to do was I wanted to bring a YouTube channel about, on the investigations and showing of it. And I never I never really had the time. I was a new mom. I was working all the time. So I never really got to sit down and bring all those videos together to show people what we found and what we saw, or even I'm still going through stuff from 2015
See, I give my people
today.
2 weeks. 2 weeks.
I mean, I can't sit there and push my people to give me 2 weeks. I can't even do so. I mean, I try my best. We come up with what we can, and
Well,
if
I
we
mean,
have
it's different
something,
if
we
you're
do.
doing like a for a fun place, but if you're actually doing for clients,
Oh gosh, for
it's
clients,
totally
no,
different.
I give
Yeah.
them a month at the most, and I tell the
Yeah.
clients sometimes it'll take us a month because we have full-time jobs
Yeah.
and kids to take care of. But
What? You don't get paid to do the paranormal?
no, 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 it's
No,
all
I
free.
just lost money. Oh, wait a minute.
Ken's back.
He's
Yay.
Ken's back.
fine.
Now repeat everything you just said so Ken can hear it.
All right. So no.
Okay, hold on. Got it.
Somebody's asking, or Holly is asking, what was that bridge that we investigated? Oh, that was Crybaby Bridge. What we considered
Which
Crybaby
bridge?
Bridge in Oklahoma.
Crybaby Bridge. Is that what you said? Okay.
Yep. The super old cemetery out in the middle. Gosh. Was that the witch's grave?
Every place has got a witch's grave.
Oh
we have
yeah.
we have one down the street from us. I've never been to it.
Yep.
Oh gosh, I can't even remember that. Hi, Lee. But yeah, Crybaby Bridge. I would take new members out to Crybaby Bridge. Always get something. And I took them out. I would take them out and get them to listen to night sounds, different stuff. One of the first times we went out there, I actually caught a baby crying.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah,
kinda-
on an EVP.
Interesting.
And
Out
I
in the middle of
had it.
nowhere type thing.
Yeah. Oh yeah, it's out in the middle of nowhere. But I think they tore it down now. I don't remember. It was an old family cemetery.
Tore down the cemetery.
Oh, yeah, I can't remember. I'd have to look at
Isn't that
it.
kind of like what they did in was it Poltergeist?
Oh,
moved
the
you moved the
Yeah.
headstones.
You
Anyway.
moved the
Left the
whole
graves.
Yeah, left the graves. Oh my gosh. There are crybaby bridges in every state. Every state. Every state
Yeah,
has one or
it's
two
like the
crybaby
witch's
bridges.
grave.
Yeah.
There's a bunch of them.
Yeah.
Yes.
But
Did we?
I can think of 3 in Kansas off the top of my head, just in my area.
I
oh
try
my
to stay
Which is
gosh.
away from
great.
bridges. I, I don't. I guess that runs into the outside kind of thing, but I stay away from bridges because especially like the trains. People go on train bridges, and you hear about bad things. I don't like to put myself or my team in any kind of dangerous
Oh.
situation, and but
Well, this bridge was
what,
wide enough
what
that
is
we
that?
could go
What
to
is
the
that covered
side.
bridge? It's some big, well-known covered bridge somewhere that people go. I think it's over in Gettysburg
Oh,
area
I
that
think
way.
it's in Missouri, isn't it?
Maybe it's Missouri. I don't know. It's a Ken should know everything about Missouri.
Everything,
Ev-
absolutely. It's called the Covered Bridge of Missouri.
I liked going outside because, especially listening to the sounds and everything, because you think you hear a scream in the woods. It's probably might be a fox. You might want to see
Yes, they
foxes
make a
in the
lot of weird
area.
sounds.
They sound just like some of them sound just like a woman's.
Mhm.
So, that was just a wrench. But
Oh,
Random wrench.
yeah, just a random wrench. But
actually, there's a couple of them. Sandy Creek,
oh,
that's in Hillsboro. It's not too far from me. And the Union Covered Bridge, that's in Paris, Missouri. That's up north, somewhere up around Hannibal.
I think the Hannibal one might be.
There's a bunch of them. I didn't know that.
Yeah. Well, there's one that people always talk
And
about investigating. I don't know where. I don't even know where it's at.
and I was correct. There's one
Oh.
called the Covered Bridge,
Oh, that's awesome.
and it's in Fulton, Missouri. It's out
Yeah.
by Jeff City area.
And
You totally knew that.
somebody with all the imagination to name something like me. I don't know. Covered bridge.
Oh,
Anyhow.
there's actually a Dead Woman's Crossing is one of the most haunted bridges in Oklahoma.
Mm-hmm.
Who
Ah,
knew?
That
Hey,
is
say
true.
not only is our audience learning about places in Oklahoma,
we
but
are
so
too.
are we.
Yeah, they have Boggy Creek Bridge, is Crybaby Bridge in
No, see,
Oklahoma.
Boggy Creek is got to be down in Arkansas. Everybody,
yeah.
nobody else can have a Boggy Creek.
But yeah, Dead Woman's Crossing, I've
You
heard
can
of
have a
it
witch's
before,
grave, but you can't have a Boggy Creek.
there is also, from what I heard, a few deserted towns here in Oklahoma,
Mhm.
and one of them, the government.
What's it? Bartlesville?
No.
The no, there
Is it
there is
Pitcher?
one up there that was it was we were supposed to investigate. It was about the time we did when we did the filming of Soul Catcher. Little plug, shameless. Anyhow, but in Oklahoma, so it's not really too far out of there. But there was a place that like the police use up north, so up I think above you, right there at the Oklahoma-Kansas line.
What, Caney?
Huh?
Near Caney?
Near Caney?
Not what was it in Kansas?
Oh,
It's
we're just
in
like
Oklahoma.
about
But we were
250 feet
we were
from the state
we were
line.
supposed to go out there and investigate. Anita Tobel was going to take us out there, and then
It's like
something.
Copan or Juan.
Oh man, you're talking too many years ago. I don't remember. But apparently because some they do some training out there, they decided not to let anybody else out there, which is kind of a bummer.
Oh, yeah, that's
Which
probably
that
going
is
on
a-
the west side of Oklahoma. If there's training, like military training.
No, more like top stuff.
Oh, hot
Yeah.
training. Oh, okay.
I don't know of anywhere around my area.
There's a lot of bridges. I haven't found any, but I will look that up.
It does. I'd love to go down there.
Well, it's all about marketing, right? Dead Woman's Crossing.
Right,
Mhm.
Dead
Go
Woman's
investigate.
Crossing. Why is it Dead Woman's Crossing? Man, that intrigues
to get
me.
to the other side.
It is pretty, yeah.
And it's
Definitely want to find out the story behind it.
right, and it's definitely beautiful. I love it. The way
Mhm.
Here in Arkansas, up in Northwest Arkansas, there's one of those where some low bridge, and apparently it's haunted by a female ghost. Um,
a lot of bridges are haunted by female ghosts. It seems
well,
like the
the
females
whole
are the only ones
thing,
that do it.
but the whole thing was the story, and I hadn't really looked into it. The story was there was an accident and she died there, blah blah blah, right?
Oh.
But it wasn't the story of the woman that caught my attention, because remember, I got in this ministry wise, and
Yeah.
they say you'll see the woman in the field under where the bridge was, but there's a creature off to one side of it, always watching her. So I was more interested in the creature more because it sounded more like a demonic thing. That was back before
Oh,
I had
yeah.
my experience, and now I'm like, no, you guys can go for it. You're fine.
That way you don't get eaten,
I
right?
don't get eaten. But, well, it's not. Apparently, it's just right outside of town. But that was back when I first started doing investigating back in 2006. So I've lost that story. I'm sure I can find it again, and somebody might send me a message. I don't know.
Send
Well,
him a
It's
message. That's a cue.
yeah. Well, and back to Oklahoma again. Like I said, half our team's investigation has been Oklahoma. And Pam said about the same thing, right? You guys did.
Yeah.
Well,
We're so close to the border. Yeah. A lot of
yeah.
what we've done
With
is back and
yeah,
forth.
I'm only 2 blocks away from the Oklahoma state line,
It's
so
same.
it's a state line road is right there. So, but
Mhm.
it's if I had a good arm, no, I don't think I. But oh yeah, we find ourselves out there a lot, and some of our more infamous investigations, I would say, were out that general direction. So, uh, so you said you did houses a lot, but what kind of places do you do, like, say, the general public could do?
um, well, one I did that go to is in Arkansas.
Arkansas?
Yeah. The old hospital in Arkansas. That's one of the ones that I've been to. That's one of my favorites, honestly, because every time I go, I get something. Every time.
It's Arkansas.
It's like they know me because every time I go, I hear "freak" on the on the spirit box.
Yeah, well, if you think
I
about the
remember
time
hearing that.
if you
Yeah.
think, well, I'm sorry for
That's
saying
funny.
it. Okay, you caught it. All right. No, you think about the time frame that was in, and
Oh,
you walk
yeah.
around with your wild color hair. I'm
Oh,
sure that
yeah.
kind of freaked out somebody who's a little conservative at that.
Oh,
Because
definitely.
by today's standards, everybody's conservative back then.
Well, it's awesome because when I go back, like this last time when I went with you and Ken, and I was like, "Do you remember me?" And I got a response, "Freak," and I was like, "Ah, you
Yeah.
remembered me."
Yeah.
I mean, I never got any kind of hostile feelings there, thank goodness, because from what you've told me, there's that one dude that's cranky. Maybe he likes me. I don't know.
Yeah.
Um,
Didn't
like me.
bother me. I was wandering around in and out of that room and
yeah,
never bothered me.
never bothered me either. But I
We're the good people.
right. I did catch whistling. I caught a lock on a door shaking back and forth.
Ooh, nice.
Yeah, nobody's touched it. Nobody was around it. We heard whistling, so we started running down. Now that wasn't this time. That was the time before because I've gone to this place like 4 times now, I think. But it was one of the times I went with 2 other groups, and I heard whistling, and I'm with this other guy, and we're running down the hallway trying to figure out where this whistling's coming from. And he goes, "Hey, come here, come here, come here, come here." And I go, and there's a door on the 2nd floor at the very end next to the window that has a lock on it. And the lock was moving back and forth, and it started moving back and forth and stayed that way for a while. I mean,
weird.
longer than, you hit it and it's a couple of times and
Yeah.
it stops. No, this was going, and it was like, oh, well, maybe that was the
That is
person that was
cool.
whistling. And then I caught the crying lady. Gives off a sad energy. So
Yeah.
sad. But yeah, I love that place. Another place that I did that isn't open to the public, but I was asked to investigate at the time was at the convention we were at back in 2018, I believe. I just so happened to have my equipment in the car, and they were like, is there somebody that could maybe do something tonight? And I'm like, oh, you know what? I already got my computer set up in there. Let's go ahead and do something. So that was in
Nice.
Kentucky. I done a business in Tulsa called the Spiritual Rose. That place is interesting.
It's called the what now?
It's called Spiritual Rose
Spiritual
in
Rose.
Tulsa. She was kind enough to let us come out and investigate. And after researching about that place, that is when we found out about the race riots in Tulsa.
Oh yeah.
And way before anybody, it started going all over the United States about the Tulsa race riots and everything. We had found that 17 down there. But yeah, we started researching more, and they had where they had dumped the bodies of people, and the area was kind of near that location.
Yeah.
And
That's wild.
and we
And
also
and-
found, huh?
Go ahead.
I was gonna say we also found out that a United States veteran died near that area, and we had caught him doing the military alphabet on the spirit box.
Oh wow.
So, yeah.
That's
So he was
cool.
trying to get my attention, and he was around me the whole time because you can still hear the same voice on throughout. And I done a review, and I think it's up on the YouTube channel where I was going over it, and it was the same voice telling me, because there was a part where I had said, "Oh, is that something?" But it was just a car, and it was like, "Yeah, you don't need to look at that." And I was like, "Okay." But yeah, it was that area is very, I mean, you can feel the energy in that particular area. I'm not one to say I see spirits, because I don't. The first apparition I saw ran across my van on the way out to Crybaby Bridge. And that was one. I mean,
Were you
just was a
outside? It
glimpse.
just ran in front of you?
Yeah, I was driving. That was a time that I wish I had a dash cam, because I had the camera, but it was facing inside the van, not outside the van. And I was with me, Kelly, and another member at the time of the team. And we were just sitting there chit-chatting, and I saw it zoom across the front of the van as I was driving over the bridge, the dam, and I kind of stopped, and I looked at him, and I looked back outside, and I was trying to work out words, but words wasn't coming out of my mouth. And I heard, he said, "Did you see it too?" And I said, "Oh, yes, I saw it." But it was like, I didn't want to think I was crazy, thinking I was conjuring up something in my head. But no, and then Kelly pipes up in the back, "I saw it too." And they were like it was like a red blur, a red and cream colored blur. And I was researching the area, seeing if somebody had kind of died in the area, and I seen where about 2 weeks before that somebody had drowned. I don't know exactly where they drowned, but a guardian in there.
Hmm.
Wow.
But it was just interesting. It was somebody running across the front of my van. It was so just wow.
Well, it'd be unsettling because I'd be afraid I'd
I
hit somebody type thing.
Yeah.
It was too blurry for me to even think I had hit somebody. It was like when you're panning the camera,
Yeah.
and you have the blur of
Just
people
that
going
blur.
across. That's what it kind of looked like.
Hmm.
And the only reason I even think it was probably a person was because of, you could see the clothes. It was like a red jacket with tan colored shirts, and it was, I don't know how to explain it. It was so real that I actually saw it, but I don't have any proof that I saw it,
Yeah. Well, of course. Yeah.
except for
Oh.
2 other witnesses that saw it too.
They're so inconsiderate that way.
They
you know?
are. It's like, couldn't you come in the van and gone behind us or
Get in
something?
front of the camera, please.
So tell us a little bit about Oklahoma. What's coming on this year? What's coming up?
Well, I know there's a Bigfoot festival coming up. I'm trying to find or a convention. I'm trying to find out exactly where. I know there is a paranormal. I am trying to find out where.
Yeah. Well, I did ask on them too, and they said they're changing locations. And looking historically, they've changed locations before, so there's nothing out of the ordinary for them. So they're just looking for the right place. You're talking about the Paracon, Oklahoma?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
And so they did
Um.
they did have a date.
Yeah. They did. I haven't. That well, because they're moving. I don't know exactly when or where they're gonna do it. I do know that the Muskogee Castle has events going on in the month of October.
Mhm.
They also have the Renaissance Fair in May. Um, but all the stuff that I've seen are like haunted houses. They're doing escape
Like
rooms,
spook
and
house type
stuff.
thing?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm trying to find out more information. I know the Stone Lion Inn is open to the public. You have to call and make reservations.
And we've investigated there. Uh,
I would like to set
usually-
up another time for all of us to go there and
I would love to. I'd love to go
That
out
would
there. That'd
be
great.
and
so fun.
I was talking to a gentleman or Steve, and he was telling me about the Stone, and so I'm probably gonna get with him, kind of hook me up with who. Um, Other than that, I am still researching because there's a lot of, unfortunately, well-known things going on, like you have up north and on. So
Well, and that's one of the things that this show is all about. So we're
Mhm.
gonna start bringing some interest and get people talking, because what's happening is people are talking, but they're only reaching a few people.
exactly,
Hopefully we'll grow large and be more than a few people. That
yes,
Paracon, Oklahoma is going to be somewhere in the Oklahoma City area, last weekend of April.
last weekend of April. Okay.
Yes. So that's good, because it shouldn't interfere with any of our stuff. A lot of paranormal teams will run things into the October timeframe, and we're guilty of
Mhm.
that. And so, I mean, shoot, the expo is on the Halloween weekend. I mean,
No.
so it's always problematic to a degree, but it's a good time because it's when everybody's interested in it. So
Yeah.
it's cool to do
True.
things like this. We did the Spirits of Spring event years ago, and I might bring something like that back again. That'd be fun to do.
Oh, definitely. Especially going throughout the year is the best thing. Have have all the big ones that go throughout the month of October. Can't make but one of the big ones because you're gonna spend out the money on
Yeah.
that. Because I know there was a couple in Arizona that I wanted to go to that Patty Negra goes to. I know there's the Vampire Ball in New Orleans that I would love to go to. New Orleans has a huge convention that goes on in October. Yeah, I think it's October. But I
That
mean,
would be so much fun.
oh, it
Oh my
would.
gosh.
And I was sitting there researching to find out how much it would cost, but for hotel stay and vendor booth and all that, it's like in the 1,500 range with the VIP
Mhm.
tickets. Because when you go to these places, you want to have VIP tickets. You don't want to just have general admission. And when
Absolutely.
you're low on the totem pole, such as myself with Exploring Perspective, not being well known, they don't really.
Mhm.
So it's really hard to get into these things, especially when you're trying to get out there and get things for area known for big things. But well, they also have like the supernatural thing.
It's going to happen. The problem is, it's about exposure, right?
Yeah.
People, you you get to know people, people get to know you. That's it. If we lived out that way, and I'm pointing like I know wherever Northeast is, but I don't. I don't, unless I have a compass in my hand. But yeah, where events are all the time, people get known in that area, and then they branch out. There's not very many events here, so until you actually get some ball rolling,
We're just
it's
gonna have to go pile up in Missouri.
Well, yeah,
Right?
no.
There's all kinds of
Wait,
stuff in
I'm
Missouri.
telling you, my goal is to put this area on the map
Yes.
because, granted, it may not be as old here as it is in blah blah
Oh,
blah
the East Coast,
Massachusetts,
yeah.
right?
Yeah.
But anyhow, the yeah, because they're all like, "Oh, look, we're having something here, and their tickets are $582.36."
Right?
And
Mhm.
people are like, "Sure thing," and they pay.
Here's the money.
How? I don't understand. I
Well,
don't have
'cause
that
they
kind
get
of
big
disposable
stars.
income.
But they do that, right?
Well, some
And
people do have
and
disposable
but
income that they do
but
that
the
for.
the
Must
thing
be
is,
nice.
there's so much energy in this area here,
Oh,
in this
yeah.
area, and we've done so many investigations, things that just blow my mind, and I've talked to investigators from in those areas, and I compare stories,
But you have the
and
Trail of
I'm
Tears
sorry.
going on through here and
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes,
things
and
of
that's
that
it.
nature.
And
Yeah.
there's so much history here. And then if you talk about through the Civil War coming down this way, they had stuff over there, but some pretty horrific things came through here too.
Yes,
And
they did.
so there's a lot of that energy here. And so it's just a matter of getting all of us in the Arkansas, Missouri, Oklahoma, and Kansas area to come together and shout it.
Us on the map.
But
Yes.
Right?
funny
I
enough,
mean,
we're like right
we're-
smack in the middle.
Because there's
It
a
should
lot of
be
people that can't afford to go to these places so far away, and to be somewhere close by where people can actually go
Well,
to.
Yes, that's
I
the whole
don't
reason we wanted to start Border Town was, there's so many investigators in the area, but nobody really knew anyone. We
But
wanted
see,
everybody to get together and then we kind of invited the public to it. So that's how it grew. But
but that's the
yeah,
thing.
Still
It's
growing.
like we have all these
still
things that these
growing.
other people talk about, right? And they point to this, blah blah blah, right? And it's big because it's been on Ghost Hunters or Ghost Adventures
Yeah.
or the Ghost Brothers or something like that, and they're all going back to these places, so they're getting really famous for that. Excuse me, but we have those same things here that are not just so
Oh.
overly trampled on, and just
Mhm.
because they don't want to be on the TV, right? They're not getting noticed as much. But I'm thinking we got a ball rolling. It's going to be,
Oh, yeah.
it's coming. And Oklahoma, I'm sorry, there's a lot of stuff in there.
There is. There is a
Like I
lot
said,
of
when we
places.
filmed Soul Catcher out there, that was a great place. There's a lot of places out there in the Oklahoma City area.
Oh, Broken
Uh,
Bow has a
eh,
place that I would love to go.
where? Broken
Broken
where?
Bow. No,
Broken
Broken
Bow.
Bow.
Broken Bow. Yeah.
Broken Bow has a place that I'd love to go to. There's also quite a few places that Darren Evans. I don't know.
Yeah,
Oh,
that's
that's-
in the Oklahoma City area as well. The Zozo House.
Well, that, but he's also done quite a few.
Oh,
He
yeah.
actually invited me on a investigation private residence.
He was at
Such
our
a
second.
sweet guy.
Oh,
Such a sweet.
no, he was at our third Hell on the Border event.
Yeah.
But Seekers thing that talked about, well, that was our talk about our original
Yeah.
paranormal thing that happened in McAllister, Oklahoma, and I would
Oh,
like to
cool.
do something in McAllister, Oklahoma.
Yeah.
And
What about old theaters?
Oh,
there's Pahuska has the
Constantine.
Constantine.
yeah.
Yeah, I saw
Yeah.
that online, Constantine.
It
You
does
got-
have new ownership, so I'm gonna have to reach.
Mhm.
Maybe willing to talk to.
They might be like
Come on the
freaking ghost
show.
hunters.
Now the one in Miami,
maybe
it
people-
does have ghost tours, and I can't think of the name of it.
I know they have the ghost light out in
Oh my gosh, I've
Miami.
been there like I don't know how many times.
And
That-
once
the-
again, there's a ghost light everywhere too, as well.
Yeah, but
Yeah,
this has gotten so
yeah.
popular that the police have even gotten involved and it off. You can't go check it out anymore.
That's a bummer.
Yeah.
And you got old museums. Any museums in the area? I mean, looking online, I saw in Tulsa the Gilcrease Museum. I don't know
Yeah.
what that's about.
The Gilcrease Museum, yeah.
Gilcrease
And then-
Museum's actually closed right now. They are tore down the original one and they're rebuilding it.
Hmm.
They just got a huge grant, so it'll be
We'll have
Well, I
to
know-
see if there's still
Coleman
anything
Theater.
there.
That's the one in Miami.
Oh, yeah.
The Coleman. Yeah.
I mean, I know you got the fort down in Fort Smith. What about I don't know how far these places are away, but there's several forts that are in Oklahoma.
Oh yeah.
Oh
Fort
yeah.
Reno, Fort Washita. I don't know
Those
where
are
those
something
are.
I'd have to see
Yeah.
if I could go in and check out because me and Adrian, well, you're are you ex-military?
What when?
No,
No.
no.
Well, Adrian and I are ex-military, and I know Adrian job field that he was probably has some kind of security.
No security clearance, but
I had a low security.
we had to have a little bit in order to do people under sedation, but I probably wouldn't qualify for any of that stuff now.
Well, us being ex-military, veterans at least, I'm sure probably talk to the commanding officer.
Well, there's El Reno out there. What we
Yeah.
did was
There's Air Force bases. Muskogee has the base.
There's quite a few.
Muskogee even has the ship that's there. That is, I don't remember on something, but investigate.
Hmm.
At it. See if I.
well,
That
we
was
did a museum down in Oklahoma. I'm totally drawing a blank on the name. I shouldn't have even mentioned it. But down south of Oklahoma City in Winterwood, and it was I would say our first true investigation was down there. We did the Indian boarding school,
Oh, cool.
and we also did a museum in Winniewood, and I cannot for the life of me remember the name of that museum. I played a couple of EVPs for you, Shauna, about it, and at the whole Mrs. Tubner and the who was she, all that stuff there. So it was but I don't know what it was.
There was a lot of places. Going back to my experience, I went to Dallas once.
Eskridge?
Oh,
Eskridge.
cool.
Oh,
Eskridge.
yes, Eskridge.
Thank you.
Yes,
I'm Mr. Google here.
Oh, you're Googling. I'm sitting here looking at the map.
Right here. Yeah.
But no, the Eskridge, that was a great place. And and it's one of those things, now that I'm so many years past, I'd like to go back and do those places that I investigated before.
Well, there are a lot of places that are in Tulsa that they don't want to be known. A lot of people have gone by there. A lot of media have gone by there and said there's something like the Brady Theater, even
Canes.
Vanguard and Tulsa. A lot of the older places, Kane's Ballroom.
Yes.
A lot of places like that are. I mean, I've been to all of those, and while I've gotten energy in a crowd of people, so it could have been the energy that were there that I felt. But I would love to go on a time that it's
one of the
no
one
pun
of the girls
intended.
that's on my team, her husband, he played in a band for a long time, and they played the Canes. And she got a picture shooting towards the stage, and there is a perfect outline of a dude on the wall with his hat backwards. I mean, it is pristine. It is crazy. We will have to get it and show it to you. It is neat.
Definitely.
Because she was like, he was not there. He would have been right in front of the spotlight. You would have absolutely seen him. Yeah, and he was not there.
See, and they want to try and trick everybody and say that. Well, I think the reason they do it is they don't want to overpopulate it.
Probably.
Ghost investigators. I can understand running a business like that. You want it mainly for fans and stuff to come.
It is known for being haunted, though. There's supposedly a ghost near one of the bathrooms, and yeah.
Well, the thing about ghost hunting is you can't always do it on the weekends. Sometimes you have to do things in the middle of the week. So
yeah,
that's.
Well, it is 8 o'clock.
It is, and I
So
love
we need
looking
to
right at an hour.
promote our stuff. Adrian, you want to start with your stuff? You want to get going?
I don't
Like
have
your
anything going.
website, your what you
No,
do, your
like I said,
team.
I don't have a website. I had a website, and now
You
the
have a
Chinese
Facebook
took it over.
page.
I do have a Facebook page, and you can look me. They're watching me through that anyways. And yeah,
Aside from
no,
A.M.O.K, you have
oh,
your
I'm up now. A.M.O.K is see how we go and traction goes. Maybe we'll get a website there. I've got plans, but
Yay.
so if it works, we'll see. It's all up to you guys and viewership, and people start downloading the things and they start watching the shows and start throwing us some information about things that are going on within the states. I will start a web page, and I'll put all that information, so it'll be a one-stop shop for paranormal for our states. That's what my goal is. Until then, you can just reach us through Facebook, through the A.M.O.K page, or even mine at River Valley Paranormal.
look up A.M.O.K Paranormal. It is a private group, but we will add you.
Yeah,
Go
well,
and-
look for our logo.
yeah.
If you see our logo, it's
Their
us.
smiling faces.
We have it. We have an email.
We do have an email, amokparanormal@gmail.com. And so if you have any knowledge of anything event wise that are going on, or something that's trying to need a spotlight on them for a historical site that or trying to raise money or something like that, that's why we're here. So
in the state of
reach
Arkansas,
out.
Oklahoma, Kansas. That in
No,
mind,
it's
A.M.O.K.
Arkansas, Missouri,
I'm
Oklahoma,
sorry.
and Kansas.
Sorry. I'm sorry.
It's Kansas, Missouri,
Get it
Oklahoma,
right.
Arkansas.
Okay, come on. Come on.
Coma.
Whoa.
We could have been coma too.
Mocha.
We've got Eagle Days coming up in 2 weeks, a week from Saturday, and Sunday the 28th and 29th up in Clarksville, Missouri. It's about 45 minutes to an hour north of St. Louis. And I plan on being there in the afternoon on the Saturday, the 28th.
28th. Next
Awesome.
weekend.
Next weekend.
Yeah, it's next weekend.
That's crazy.
10 days from now. Yep.
This month is flying.
Okay, Holly. I have Exploring the Paranormal Perspective. The new podcast is coming out soon. I also have my gaming channel that I do a lot of horror gaming. But with Exploring the Paranormal Perspective, it's true crime, geeks about haunted places, and guest interviews. So that does have a website, Exploring. And A.M.O.K. A.M.O.K. So you can always reach me at places. Pam?
Awesome. Okay, let's see. In Kansas, the one thing I can think of that we have going on is Bordertown Paranormal. So it's a Bordertown Paracon for 2023. It's going to be September 30th, Saturday here in Caney. Excuse me. And that's the biggest thing that we have going on. It's like we just started our planning last Sunday, so we'll be in the thick of it really quick. Yeah, that's the biggest. We do have a Facebook page. It's Southeast Kansas SEK Bordertown Paranormal. And we have a website too. It's bordertownparanormal.com. Come check us out.
Definitely check it out. I'm looking forward to it. A.M.O.K, A.M.O.K, whatever you want to call us.
I am okay.
We are. I am okay. That's right. Will be well represented at Bordertown, and
absolutely.
I don't even remember the name of it. The Kansas City.
Is it XCon?
XCon. That's right.
Yes.
And the Arkansas Paranormal Expo. And all that's gonna last week of September is when Caney is. Is that correct?
Yes. Yep. The last Saturday.
End of October. So we are going to be very busy, and we're going to take all you guys with us.
Yes. Well, Geeks is planning on going places too. Of course, I'm paranormal. I go. I'm dragging Debbie with me. Debbie
are
or
we-
Kelly.
Debbie's awesome.
Yes,
Are-
she is.
Oh yeah, Shaw, are we going to SilCon?
Yeah, we are.
Okay. Yep, I plan on going too.
We,
So,
so we'll be going to Illinois
and then
Fun.
to represent
Did-
A.M.O.K.
they don't count.
Yay.
They don't count. This is not
It'll be Mo.
Arkansas,
It'll be Mo.
Missouri, Oklahoma, or Kansas.
Just Mo.
But,
Bye, everybody.
Bye, everybody. Y'all have a good one. See y'all next
Bye.
week.
Thank-
Next week it's Pam. So y'all
Yes.
gotta come
Oh, that's
back.
right. Yeah, next week
Yes.
is Pam. She's going to be talking about quantum physics for everybody.
Quantum physics.
It'll
gonna
be
sit-
really
she-
interesting if
She's
I do
going to
that.
simplify it for us dumb people.
Until then.
Absolutely.
Bye, people.
Bye.